You would think every car person would gasp at the sight of a brand new Bentley, but apparently at the Geneva Auto Show, that was not the case. Once a month or so, we invite car guy, automotive journalist, TV host Jeremy Cato to the Shaw Tower. It is my pleasure to welcome our resident traveling car guy back to Studio 4 to tell us more about the Bentley and other things.
Yeah, the Bentley was the ugliest car I've ever seen. So
I couldn't believe that. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an ugly Bentley. I've seen a big Bentley.
Well, I mean, it's overwrought. It was tasteless. It was everything that's wrong with the car business, all encapsulated in one gigantic,
is that it?
Horrific, despicable example of overindulgence.
Well, tell me about it. It's
well, I mean, it's a sport utility vehicle. So now this is a vehicle that you might kindly say is built for the nouveau riche in emerging markets. I think
in Europe.
No, Middle East, Asia, those kinds of places where people want big. I mean, excess, like the new rich.
Like a Hummer?
Well, it's bigger than a Hummer, and it's
bigger
ugly.
than a Hummer.
The Hummer at least had some kind of military sort of cachet
You could say I
to
just
it.
came back from the Gulf.
Right. This is just ugly. It's big is not always better.
I know that.
And so this was just tasteless. I mean, what it represents is Bentley, which is one of Volkswagen's 11 brands, right? This is the gigantic Volkswagen group. And it's Bentley trying to capture the sport utility market, which is booming around the world and in Canada.
Of course, but they have all the researchers and the designers.
Right.
Wouldn't you think they would capture it like, say, the Range Rover people?
Well, but Bentley isn't not in that sport utility market, and so they've basically taken the design cues from the Bentley brand, and slapped them on a sport utility chassis of the Porsche Cayenne and the Audi Q7, because remember, these are all part of the Volkswagen
cars.
group, right? Yeah, well, I mean, they're not quite as tasteless, but it's just, not everybody who's super rich has no taste.
True.
But there are
Many
enough.
do.
But look at that list of Forbes billionaire list, the 1,244 people on that list. What did I write in the Globe? I wrote that, there's 1,244 billionaires in the world. You couldn't pay me $1 billion to sit in that thing.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, my papa said, stick to what you know. So maybe Bentley should stick to what they know and what they do best and forget about being, is it called EXP9 or X?
Yeah, the EX4, what is it? EX. That should be an F for Falcon.
We'll fire that producer.
Yeah, well, no.
Okay.
It's for Falcon, and they actually had a falconer there with a falcon on the show stand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was just like...
So they used a bird, a falcon, a bird of prey to sell that car.
Well,
there you go.
But I brought you a car, Fanny.
I love that.
That's what I wanted to be. I was disappointed to hear that you'd actually bought your car.
I did.
Yeah, which is the wise financial decision. And I
know it was, and I was
very
proud of myself. Little smarty pants. Well, my first financial guide today, Bruce Ellery, says you should buy a used car and drive it into the ground.
Well, I mean, if all you care about is saving money, that's absolutely the truth. I've written millions of stories about leasing, and leasing is a way to spend more money.
Sure, we do have to fuel the market, don't we? Someone has to, or then all the car workers and the unions would go broke. So we do have to buy cars.
I mean, Bruce bought it. Did he buy that CR-V brand new? I wonder if he did. I never asked him.
I forgot to ask him.
But the reality here is that car sales have been down around the world, and certainly in the United States. Over the last few years. I mean, they went from in 2008, car sales were around 16 million, and then 2009, after the big meltdown, they went down to 9 million in the U.S. So obviously that has implications 3 or 4 years down the road in the used car market, which is where we are now. Used cars are not a bargain right now. They're expensive because there are not enough of them. Fleet sales have been down, new car sales have been down, and so if you want to go buy a used car right now, you'll find the price is pretty inflated.
Okay, so I did make the right move.
Well, you bought your own used car.
Bought my own used car.
But I bought you a Porsche.
I'll take that then.
And by the way, this is the new 2013 Porsche Boxster. And I think that's a car that you'd look good in.
I would look great in this car.
Now you want to keep this because
so
this is a limited edition.
Anybody would look great in this car.
Well,
wouldn't they?
I mean, this is a fun little sports car, open top, starts at $56,500 in Canada when it goes on sale in the spring. And that little model there, Fanny, you want to keep that because it's a limited edition. There's only 1,981 were made, and yours is numbered.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Well, it means that the model Porsche commissioned the model maker to make just 1,981
Right.
of these little models.
Oh, of
to
the
co-
little model,
to
not the major car.
to
Okay.
commemorate the new 2013 Porsche
I'll keep it.
Boxster.
I will not give that to the
There you
grandson
go.
because
And
he'll try to
It's
drive
even got
it.
its little Geneva thing, and if I
How
see
great.
this on eBay, I'm coming to your house.
Okay, then
Yeah,
I promise I won't do that.
because I have seen, you know.
I know that, of course. No, this is my retirement.
There, that's it. Well, you got to hold on to it for a few years, but this is one of those little collectible things that in
How
10
lovely.
years.
Well, thank you. Merci.
There you go.
All of the above.
This car is not tasteless, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
Are Porsches noisy inside?
Are they noisy?
You know, they used to be, I haven't been in a Porsche for a long time, Porsche.
Porsche.
And they used to be noisy inside, unlike a Mercedes.
The answer is no.
Okay,
And
I
this
figured.
Boxster is a convertible, right? The top folds down in 9 seconds, and you can do it at 50 kilometers an hour.
Without blowing the
without
roof
blowing
off.
the roof off. But they've, you know, in this edition, which has been significantly remade, they added all kinds of insulation to the top to make it more
Sure.
winter friendly. So I can give you the
Oh.
number. It went from 75 decibels at 100 kilometers an hour to 71 decibels, which if you're a decibeler,
Sure.
is a big deal.
Okay, because I think you had, I know I had a little convertible in
Right.
the olden days.
Yeah, noisy.
And noisy.
Yeah.
And also when it was damp. They
Right.
started to smell
Yeah.
like apples or
Yeah.
something. You know, you think there must be mold in the roof or something.
No,
so
I mean,
I'm
that-
sure
that-
all that's finished.
Yeah, I mean, the convertibles today are built for spoiled, you know, baby boomers.
Yeah.
And because those are the people that buy them. And
I mean,
they
the
don't-
ones who can't crank it
They
down?
don't want to.
Well,
Their backs are sore.
I
You know, I don't want to lift the top.
okay, okay. Yeah, and stuff it in
Hey,
and
I'm
then
a spoiled
get it
baby
closed.
boomer. I can insult
I know
my,
you
my
are.
cohort anyway. I want,
Would
yeah.
you drive a Lamborghini after Geneva?
Well, you're talking about the Aventador, which is you know one of these supercars. Again, I mean, I don't know. That looks like the Batmobile from the Jack Nicholson
It
Joker
does.
movie. I mean,
It does. So is
doesn't
that what you call a chump?
Well, it's a 700 horsepower car with a fancy V12. That the best part about the Lamborghini show, part of the show in Geneva, was they have the hottest models on the stand showing the cars. Now you don't have that picture there, but
No.
you know most car
You
shows.
left that out.
Well, I mean, it's not politically correct anymore.
No,
I
I
mean,
know.
everybody has to, you know, deny the fact that one of the appeals of cars is that they're sexy, they're fun, they're,
Yeah.
you know, it's not. Bruce may want to drive his little CRV, but there's nothing sexy about a CRV.
Or a van or anything
yeah,
like
I mean,
that. I
we
know,
need
I get it.
transportation, we need appliances, and then we need stuff like the Aventador, which is just completely over the top. And
Okay.
you know, it's a lovely car, but not for me.
And as far as the show in Geneva, the Swiss do it all on time, on budget.
No,
lovely.
they don't.
They don't?
Yeah, that's a myth. Geneva's a company town. It's full of bureaucrats and
Yeah.
lobbyists and lawyers, and you know,
Really?
I mean, no, I mean maybe they make great watches, and
They
I'm
do?
wearing a Swiss watch.
I bet you are.
Yeah, but
that you brought back through the customs?
no, this is a gift from
Okay.
a friend. Yeah, so you know, but look, you know, the show was not on time. It's ridiculously disorganized. They don't even turn on the
Really?
air conditioning in the place. So the likes
my.
of us wretched ink stain
wretched.
types, wretched.
Yeah.
We just spend the whole day perspiring and
Oh,
trying to.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know. See, I've only spent time in like Schwyz and Chateau d'Ay in the country of
Oh, yeah, but you
Switzerland.
live the life.
Maybe in the Veld
Us
d'Isère
working
or someplace like
stiffs.
that.
I'm a
Yeah.
working stiff. Yeah.
I know, but it sounds so glam to say I'm just back from the Geneva show, but the truth is it's hard work.
Yeah.
Bugatti?
Well, the Veyron, which they didn't give a price tag to this thing, but it's a, you know, this is a roadster Bugatti, probably $2.5 million for that thing. Again, another Volkswagen product. Lamborghini's also part of the Volkswagen group.
Gee.
You know, 11 brands, second biggest car company in
Yeah.
the world. This thing is amazing, right? It's,
looks
I
French.
think it's 1,200 horsepower.
I don't know.
Goes like
For you
goes
to
like
say.
mad. Yeah.
Fuel efficient?
No. I mean,
No.
come on. Nobody buys a $2.5 million car to save the
Okay.
world. I mean, that's
Apparently
not.
not.
This is a showy car. It's a roadster. But frankly, I'll tell you what, you'd have more fun in that little Boxster for 56.5
Really?
than you
Okay.
would in that. Because first of all, if you were driving that car around, it says to the world, I can afford a $2.5 million car, which means that you might get hijacked.
Well, true.
I
Like,
mean, you
don't
know.
shoot me.
Yeah, I mean, I
Uh-huh.
like nice things. We all like nice things, but over the top nice things, overwrought.
I know. I don't need a Bugatti either. A Ferrari. I love Ferraris, but don't have to have one.
I mean, let me drive it for a day in
Mm-hmm.
the countryside, pack me a picnic lunch. Oh, and you're into the Ferrari now. This is
Yeah.
the Berlinetta. This is a V12, another 700
beautiful,
horsepower
yeah.
car, $350,000.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I mean that is a kind of a striking design there. I mean that's very long nose, short rear
Yes.
deck. It's of course Ferrari red.
I have a friend who's so rich she went into the car dealer and said, "I want that car," and the car salesman said, would you like to drive it? And he goes, "Why?"
Yeah.
He said, "Do I have to?"
Yeah.
I said, "You didn't drive the car, you just wrote the check."
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's good.
there was a wonderful story about that kind of excess wealth where a couple of years ago, General Motors had a concept car on a stand at the in an auto show in the Middle East.
Right.
And a sheikh arrived, and he went up to the vice president in charge of the Middle East and Asia and whatnot and said, "I want that concept car."
Really? So you can buy a car at a car show?
Well, let me finish
you're
the
a
story.
sheikh.
No, you can't. I mean, it was the one-off. It was their only concept version of it was called the Cadillac 16. And he had a suitcase of millions. And he said, "I can pay you right now. I'll give you $10 million for this." And they couldn't sell it because it was worth more to General Motors to keep it for a whole bunch of reasons.
see.
But yeah, I mean, you hear about that.
Not a good day.
People with ridiculous amounts of money walking with suitcases full of bills and offering them to, the senior executives from General Motors.
I want your
It does
concept car.
happen.
It would
does happen.
tend to make you want to cheat.
Yeah. Well, he's
to
never
say,
going to.
I don't have to work again. Give me the 10 mil.
Yeah,
I'll see what I can do.
Somehow there's a fiduciary duty in there that
Perhaps.
that
Perhaps. A Land Rover, convertible.
the Evoque. I mean, the Evoque has been a slam dunk. This is the small sport utility, and the idea here is maybe people want convertible sport utility vehicles. And Nissan tried this with a vehicle they sold in the U.S. called the Murano last year,
Right.
And it's been a flop. So I think Land Rover may choose to go this direction, but why would you buy an SUV convertible? I mean,
Why not?
Well, because it defeats the whole purpose of having an SUV, which is that sort of ruggedness and
Well, maybe you're
outdoorsy
not
thing.
taking it through the mud. Maybe you're
Well-
driving your SUV to Whistler.
Would you
know.
buy it, Fanny?
Well, I might.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
How much fun would that to be to pop all the kids in that car and
Okay.
roll around town?
Well,
I might.
At least it's easy to get in and out because it's
Well,
got a high
that's
hit
true.
point, and you don't have
Well,
to
yeah,
climb
and you don't have to
down
strain your
into
back getting the baby out.
Well, there is that, But most of the people buying that convertible Evoque, well, it might be
I'm
the
sure.
grandkids.
The
grandkids in the back
Yeah,
seat.
but
I mean,
they love it.
I think Land
Bava
Rover will
and
make
the
that.
kids in the back of the Evoque, I'm thinking. Mercedes-Benz, A-Class.
Well, I mean, Mercedes-Benz is now the third largest luxury automaker in the world, which is a real kick. Now
Yeah.
it's BMW and Audi, and they've changed the A-Class, which is their entry-level small vehicle, from a kind of a boxy upright vehicle to this is what we saw in Geneva,
Okay.
which is sleeker. I think they lowered it 6 inches from the previous generation. The idea is to go after the younger buyer.
Of
Mercedes
course.
is
and
losing.
you can't park it anywhere.
Well, Mercedes is losing young buyers, and so these little cars are aimed at the millennials who want everything all the time,
Of
right
course they
away,
do.
and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
And they can afford a this will sell for
Okay.
about $27,000. 22,000 euros, about 27,000 bucks.
Did you bring a Phantom back from Europe? Or
No, I didn't bring
left
a
it
Phantom.
there?
I mean, again, you're talking about Rolls-Royce. This is their big saloon, their luxury car, and it's been tweaked and dressed up. This is the Series 2. You're talking about a car that is for people who don't drive.
Yes.
This is for the back seat. So I guess the Queen might want to ride.
The Queen might
ride.
want to. I might want to. But I like this little Porsche.
Oh, me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed driving it.
Nice to see you.
I spent
Welcome
a day
home.
in the south of France driving that
I
around.
bet
the
you
real one.
did.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are spoiled.
Yeah, sure.
In spite of no air
I
conditioning.
can't think of a better person to spoil.
Well, of course you can't. Jeremy Cato, our guest, he is a columnist, an automotive journalist. You can read him in the Globe and Mail and see him on the TV. Remember, you can catch all of our conversations on YouTube or follow us on Twitter at Fanny Studio 4.